Back to Ashley as we look at the door to number 10 Downing Street. Nile Gardiner joins us from Heritage. He's at the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom, where he's director. Nile, good to see you. And as I point out, number 10 Downing Street, we're waiting to hear from Theresa May herself now in her own reaction. As we wait for that, Nile, what's yours? What do you think?
Well, actually, although the Prime Minister won this vote, I think it's still a pretty bad result for her. Over a third of Conservative MPs have voted against the Prime Minister. And I think that, she has a real problem of credibility within her own party. So although she has on paper won this result, the fact that 117 Conservative MPs voted against their own leader, I think this is a pretty damning blow against the Prime Minister. She will no doubt struggle on. I don't think she's going to be resigning. But she is a significantly weakened figure today after a disastrously shambolic week. So this will add further to her woes. So I think that in many ways Theresa May looks like a lame duck Prime Minister.
So what does that mean as we look at markets? The Dow, by the way, closed up 157 points there 5 minutes ago, well off its session highs today. There are other things going on in the markets, of course. The China trade optimism drove stocks higher, but investors, now, as you know, have also been watching this. She'll go, I suppose, to Brussels, to Ashley's point, and make her case for her plan. But what's next here? What's your best guess?
Yeah, so she's going to Brussels tomorrow. Already the European Commission has said that they will give her no more than 10 minutes of their time to make her case for a renegotiation. The reality is she's not going to get anything from the EU in terms of concessions for the EU withdrawal agreement. She'll have to go back to London with gaining nothing at all whatsoever from her trip to Europe. There is zero prospect of her getting her EU Brexit deal through the House of Commons. And so in many ways, I think that the Prime Minister is in a very, very difficult situation. In my view, the only way forward for her now is to prepare Britain for a no-deal Brexit. That is the best scenario, and then step down after March 29th, 2019, once the Brexit process has formally begun. But the reality is that she is a greatly diminished Prime Minister today after an appallingly bad week for her. And so she continues as the Prime Minister, but she doesn't really have the full control of her own party. And with the DUP withdrawing their support from the Prime Minister in the confidence and supply arrangement, she no longer has a majority in the House of Commons. So it's hard to see actually how she can really lead herself.
Yeah. Neil, this is Melissa Francis. Let me ask you, you raised the prospect of a no-deal Brexit. Practically, what does that look like?
Yeah, what that means is that there is no transition period for Britain leaving the EU. So the transition is due to last until the end of 2020, whereby Britain would remain part of the single market and the customs union. There would instead be a hard Brexit on March 29th. It also means that Britain basically reverts to World Trade Organization rules in terms of trading with the EU and the rest of the world. Britain then has the freedom to sign free trade agreements with countries all over the world, including with the United States. I'm in no doubt, actually, that Britain would do absolutely fine under a no-deal arrangement. It's far better than the extremely weak-kneed deal
that was my next
Theresa May has negotiated.
question. That was